On the Wake Up Radio presents The Center with your host, DC Radical One.
Greetings, friends, family, allies, and enemies. I'm your host. You have entered the center. Shout out to our wonderful producer, Cindy Ashby. You can check us out on SoundCloud, YouTube, iTunes Podcast, Google Play, Stitcher, Spotify, and iHeartRadio at On the Wake Up Radio. Also, you can check us out at otwtube.com. That's otwtube.com. Also, you can follow me at Instagram at dc.radical1, on Twitter at dcradical_one, on OTW2, which is a black-owned platform at DC Radical 1. You can donate via Cash App, $DC Radical 1, and you can email me at dc.radical_1 at protonmail.com. So, it seems right now we have a limited number of people in the building. So what I am going to do, I'm going to give people a few minutes to come in. Tonight's discussion will be about the Trump administration's making moves on Africa and on Black revolutionaries. Bibi Folded, the sister Najee, Bibi Folded, brother, you got Rudolph, who's currently traveling as we speak. So he'll be in and out. Unfortunately, he won't be able to do his usual duties. And we shall see how many people we get in. So this may be a two-parter. If we don't get any, we don't get many people, I'll cut the stream short and try again next week. And if we get a lot of people, then cool. Thus far, we do not have a lot of people. So, the reason that I did this, reason I'm doing this live stream, is because, and I don't know, this music is not doing it for me. Let me see what else I got on the menu. Let me see. See if we can get some other music on. Y'all tell me, because I can't hear the music now. I may have messed up. And wouldn't that be par for the course? Anyway, I'll try to get this music thing situated, and y'all can let me know whether y'all can hear me or not, or whether y'all can hear the music or not. Mr. Trump is, let me just say this part. Mr. Trump is getting on my last nerve already. He has militarized the city that I reside in, so that's irritating. The atmosphere of the city is different. I was it yesterday, 2 days ago? I was somewhere and I noticed all these vehicles of different types, and they came out and they went, and I don't actually know what they did. They could just kind of harass the people that moved along. Here's what's crazy. So now that was like 2 days ago. The next day, I'm literally just standing around checking my phone, trying to get some information. And then here goes 4 police cars and then 4 unmarked, and they zoom past, and I'm just like, hey, at least they zoom past. So The atmosphere of DC has changed. The militarization is real. It's not as bad as it was during COVID, where certain parts of the city were completely shut down and you had to go through checkpoints and all that. I had, during that time, worked in an area where, it was like between the most outermost checkpoint and where I had to go. It was like 3 checkpoints. Man, it was just like, come on, man. So Mr. Trump has done that. See, here we go. Yeah, that's what I was trying to get. This is the music I'm going with tonight. Okay. So that has irritated me. Then I look up and Mr. Trump has targeted I'm gonna call him my brother. I call him our brother. Mr. Cherizier in Haiti. Mr. Trump's people have been bad-mouthing Mr. Traore. So yeah, he's getting on my nerves, man. It's just, he's completely bending over for Israel. That's irritating. So we're gonna talk about that tonight. And like I said, depending on how long, people we get in here will depend on how long we go. So right now, I'm going to go to 7. I'm going to put the lost tapes on, and then we'll see what happens there. But what we're going to start off with, the General Barbeque, legally known as Brother Jimmy Cherizier in Haiti. So this is from the U.S. Justice Department, right? We're going to get into that. And this from August 12th. So this is a little over a week ago. It says U.S.-based cocaine. Oh, wait a minute. Hold up. I missed the headline. Buried the headline. Buried the lead, as they say. Haitian gang leader Barbeque indicted for conspiracy to violate U.S. sanctions. Now, of course, whenever it's black people involved, the most you can be is a gang leader. You can't be a general. You can't be a revolutionary. Even though I heard somebody mention that he's the leader of revolutionary forces, and I'm like, well, you just admitted right there the reason that you against him, because he's a leader of what? Revolutionary forces against what? Against an illegal government and an illegal occupation, which currently is taking place. Lest we forget, of course, we had the video showing the Kenyan forces going into Haiti. I guess that was a year ago now. Put up so much content lately, it's kind of hard to keep track. But let's see what it says. It says, an indictment was unsealed today in U.S. District Court charging Jimmy Cherizier, also known as Barbeque, 48, of Port-au-Prince, Haiti, and Basil Richardson, also known as Fredo, Fred Lyon, Leo Danger, and Lipe Blow, 48, a naturalized U.S. citizen, with leading a conspiracy to transfer funds from the United States to Cherizier to fund his gang activities in Haiti in violation of the U.S. sanctions imposed on Cherizier. Now, let's stop right here. The first thing I have to figure out is how. Okay, here's my thing. Right? How is it legal for the United States to impose sanctions on an individual in another country? Now, I'm sure this has been done before, but I guess I wasn't paying attention. Maybe they imposed sanctions on Saddam Hussein. Yeah, but maybe they imposed sanctions on Muammar Gaddafi. But just as far as quote unquote international law, the idea of imposing a nation imposing sanctions on an individual in another country is that's wild to me. Like, how are you not violating the sovereignty of this country by randomly putting sanctions on a single individual? You see what I'm saying? Like, somebody help me. So, okay, I'm lost. Somebody help me understand how this is legal. Like, it's legal because they said so. It's legal because they make up the rules. Like, what is really going on here? Now, it says Cherizier is a fugitive believed to be in Haiti. A fugitive from whom? Right? Or is he a fugitive because now he's been indicted? And then, let us read. Richardson was arrested on July 23rd in Pasadena, Texas, and is expected to make his initial court appearance today. So his court appearance was last weekend. I missed it. Okay. Concurrent with the indictment, the U.S. Department of State's Transnational Organized Crime Rewards Program is offering a reward of up to $5 million for information leading to the arrest and conviction of Cherizier. So they will pay you $5 million to snitch. It's leading to the arrest or conviction. So he has a $5 million bounty on his head. Interestingly enough, I believe his name is Maduro. Is it Maduro in Venezuela? He has a $50 million bounty on his head. So I guess Mr. Cherizier just not as important. And then wait, I just thought about that. Wait, how in the world does the United States put a bounty on the head of a whole nother sovereign leader of a sovereign nation? Maduro, you know what? I have to dig into that case more. Let me stick with one case because I just thought about it. The United States is put a bounty on the head of the leader of another country. What kind of? There is no international law. Let me get back to this information. It says Cherizier and a U.S. associate sought to raise funds in the United States to bankroll Cherizier's so-called violent criminal enterprise, which is driving a security crisis in Haiti. Said Associate Attorney for National Security, John A. Eisenberg. Now, I don't know who Mr. Eisenberg is, and I looked him up and I couldn't find very much information. But the fact that his name is Mr. Eisenberg is pretty much telling me everything I need to know with who's behind this attack on Mr. Cherizier. Now, it says the National Security Division does not tolerate criminal gang fundraising in the United States and will continue to pursue those who enable Haiti's violence and instability. Now, first of all, as we know, Mr. Cherizier was at one time law enforcement in Haiti. And of course, we have seen interviews with him. And the idea that he's this violent criminal and, you know, I'm gonna just say what Dr. Collar said. One man's freedom fighter, right? Now, according to Mr. Cherizier in interviews that we've seen previously with him, he has actually been organizing the youth and trying to teach them and train them to defend Haiti against outside forces, right? Like I said, one man's freedom fighter. So this is obviously an attack on him, and we're going to see who else is a major player in this that lets us know what's really behind this, attack on Mr. Cherizier, right? Let's get back to this. Says there's a good reason that there's a $5 million reward for information linked to Cherizier's arrest. He is, quote unquote, according to U.S. Attorney Janine Ferris-Pirro, responsible for heinous human rights abuses, including violence against American citizens of Haiti. Now let's start right here. The United States government is responsible for more heinous human rights abuses than any other entity in the last 400 years. Right? The United States government dropped nuclear bombs on a country that was already defeated. What are we talking about here? Like, the United States government has killed sovereign leaders for no good reason. Right? The United States government locked up for years Black people who were simply fighting for their freedom against an oppressive government that was using their internal and external intelligence services to attack Black people. Right? COINTELPRO program. Right? The engineering the assassination of Patrice Lumumba. Flying in crack cocaine, or flying in the cocaine that funded the fueled the crack epidemic. The illegal guns trade. Right? Like, the CIA has admitted to the crack cocaine thing. No one has admitted to the guns. And so forth and so on ad nauseum. But yet, Mr. Cherizier is going against human rights, or whatever it was that they said. The FBI, now it says the FBI is committed to what? Confronting what? Foreign terrorist organization. What did I say? One man's freedom fighter is another man's what? Terrorist. I knew somewhere in here that word was coming up. I just was waiting to see. I haven't read this yet. This was Darren Cox of the FBI Criminal Investigation Division. He says, through intelligence partnerships and full weight of federal law, we are dismantling FTOs and rooting out those who threaten the safety of our communities. Again, the FBI is supposed to be a homeland, in essence, investigative and security institution. But the FBI is in Haiti, which means we already know that the CIA is in Haiti, if that's the case. The FBI is over there above board, CIA is over there below board, right? Now, it says, according to court documents, Cherizier is a former officer of the Haitian National Police and the leader of an organization known as the Revolutionary Forces of the G9 family and allies, who helped force a gang alliance called Vive Ensemble. Now, the words Vive Ensemble means live together. So really what it is uniting various elements to engage in revolutionary struggle for the independence of Haiti, right? Now, we previously released a video, or brought you a video of that, an interview he did for our brother Irritated Genie, where he expressed that. I was not able to find the video, so my apologies. I'll clip this and add in that video later. But he spoke about his revolutionary aspirations, his inspiration from Jean-Jacques Dessalines, and his admiration for Captain Ibrahim Traore, which I believe all of those things are why he is being targeted, right? But there's definitely one more piece to this puzzle. Now let's see if there's any more information here that's relevant. It says it is alleged in the indictment that since Cherizier's SDN designation in December 2020, Cherizier and Richardson have together led a wide-ranging conspiracy with individuals in the United States, Haiti, and elsewhere to raise funds for Cherizier's gang activities in violation of sanctions imposed on Cherizier. Now, here's my question. Did they send him a letter Did they drive to his hood and make an announcement that he was under sanction? Because I can tell you, there's not a lot of black men who get sanctioned by the United States, so I'm sure he had no idea. But more importantly, where's the money? Where's the receipts for the money? Where's the evidence? I mean, what's the legal saying? You can indict a ham sandwich. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I want to see. Bring us the documentation. It says, in particular, Cherizier and Richardson transfers from members of the Haitian diaspora located in the United States. After sending funds to intermediaries in Haiti for Cherizier's benefit, the U.S. and Haitian co-conspirators would send Cherizier images of receipts from money transfers. Cherizier used these funds principally to pay salaries to the members of his quote-unquote gangs and acquire firearms from illicit firearms dealers in Haiti. So they're not even saying that he got the money. They're saying that the money went to people connected to him, and then they, or some type of way, they arranged to get weapons. Okay. That is the indictment, right? Now, there's something else going on in Haiti at the same time as they're trying to move Mr. Cherizier out the way that we have to look at. In fact, hold on. Before I do that, I do have a video that I want to load up because we have Mr. Cherizier's response to this indictment. So let me put a pause on this, and then we're going to have Mr. Cherizier's response to the FBI.
Is Jimmy Cherizier, Barbeque. If the FBI wants me, I'm here. I'm willing to collaborate with them on one condition. There can be no lies told. Basil Richardson, a.k.a. Fredo, is innocent. He has never sent any money to me to finance anything in Haiti. Stop with all those lies and we can collaborate. Thank you.
His indictment is the first indictment of an individual in the history of the Department of Justice who has been sanctioned under the International Global Magnitsky Human Rights Accountability Act. Now, in terms of background, Barbeque was a police officer in Haiti, but he led many campaigns of violence against Haitians in Haiti, including the notorious La Saline attack in 2018. Notorious because he both planned and participated in the killing of approximately 71 Haitians. It is a turf war that has shocked the human rights activists in the world. His co-defendant Basil Richardson grew up in Haiti with Cherizier. He is a naturalized U.S. citizen who is living in North Carolina. He was also indicted under that same one count, and he is indicted for sending money to Cherizier, sending money from the Haitian diaspora in the United States to Cherizier. And knowing that Cherizier was sanctioned under that 2020 Magnitsky Act. Now, apparently he was a trucker who, although he was from North Carolina, was just picked up in Texas. Now, one of the things that is extremely important that you'll be hearing about from my law enforcement partners here is that the State Department has designated a $5 million reward for information leading to the arrest and or conviction of Cherizier. Now, I want to let the public know that anyone who is giving money to Cherizier also known as Barbecue because of his violent acts in his home country, cannot say, I didn't know that he was sanctioned by the US government. They will be prosecuted and we will fine them because they are supporting an individual who is committing human rights abuses, and we will not look the other way. Now, this office is not unfamiliar with crimes of violence in Haiti. Several months ago, we got a conviction against an individual by the name of Jolie German, who was involved in the kidnapping of 16 American Christian missionaries in Haiti. Haiti is a hotspot right now, and I don't use that as a pun on words, but there is incredible violence going on there, which is why the State Department has gotten involved and why we have made the decision to make it very clear under the Magnitsky Act that we're coming after you if you give money to Cherizier.
Now, wrong. So now that was our brother, Mr. Cherizier. He's been accused of some violent acts that they're saying going back to 2018. Now, I can't speak to his guilt or innocence in that. All I can say is whatever he's guilty of, the United States government has done much worse, without a doubt. BB482, the integrative school psychologist. And I hope that I greeted applied knowledge. If not, greetings, and BB482 to Brother Tony. So that is the situation with Brother Cherizier. And you saw this woman. I actually don't know who the woman is. I should know. I should have looked it up, but I didn't care. We saw her tell a bold-faced lie. She said that he's known as Barbecue because of some violent acts or something. That's false. He's known as Barbecue because, number one, there's a boatload of people named Jimmy in Haiti. It's a common name. Two, his mother used to cook on the side of the road. She used to make barbecue, make chicken, and he got the nickname from that. So it is not because of any violent acts. It's not any gang initiation name or hood name or whatever the case may be. So that was a lie. Oh, you said Janine Shapiro? Yeah, Janine Shapiro. Anyway, Shapiro is a liar, or she's woefully misinformed. But that is not why he has his name. Which means if you don't even know why he has his name, we can only imagine what other facts in this case that you have incorrect. And our brother, you got ripped off, says Israel is breaking international human rights law in the book, and Netanyahu has been indicted by the International Criminal Court, and yet he can come here, stand before the Congress, and get applause from nearly every congressperson in the United States Congress, and get weapons sent to him to help him defend, to help him fight against another sovereign nation in Iran. And then when he gets his head handed to him, then he goes and begs Mr. Trump to go and bomb Iran and to make peace because he's about to get obliterated. And he was about to come under indictment in Israel by his own government. And then Mr. Trump threatened that government, and he keeps these wars ongoing in order for himself to stay in power in Israel, just like Zelensky in the Ukraine fights to keep himself in power. That's why he keeps the war going on, because he know that he's going to be indicted and or taken out the minute the war is over. Right? I know you didn't say all that, brother. I said all that for you. I added everything else in for you. So thank you for that, brother. Pointing out the contradiction and the lies. But of course, Shapiro is not going to go after Israel or go after Netanyahu, excuse me, because look up the name Shapiro. But I digress. So now, what else is going on in Haiti while they are trying to remove our brother from, and I'm going to claim him. Now, if he wantonly deceased 70 people for no reason, I can't co-sign that, but I have no knowledge of that at the moment. So if somebody brings me documentation of that, then I have to condemn him for that, right? Now, he once again, remember, he was at one time part of the national police. Did he commit the crimes as part of the national police on behalf of the government? Or is he just wantonly committing crime? Or did he not commit the crime at all and it's a false charge? I can't speak to that because I'm not in Haiti, right? Could he be a brother who was doing the wrong thing and suddenly decided to do the right thing when he got the knowledge of himself? If that's the case, we know all types of people like that. We have people like that in our family. We got people like that in our audience, right? So I'm going to read this article. This is from, I believe this is from Jamaican newspaper. The Gleaner, I don't even know what that means, says the leader of one of the most, here we go again, quote unquote, notorious gangs in Haiti, Jimmy Cherizier, say he is prepared to cooperate with the Federal Bureau of Investigation, even after American law enforcement officials described him as a foreign terrorist this year. The U.S. Department of Justice also claimed an indictment against Cherizier, alias Barbeque, and U.S. citizen Basil Richardson, 48, solicited funds from the Haitian diaspora community in the U.S. to help pay gang members and buy firearms in violation of U.S. sanctions. The U.S. is offering $5 million, as we saw, for information leading to the arrest of Mr. Cherizier, a former police officer whose group has been accused, thank you for at least saying accused, of various acts of deletion, kidnapping, and attacks. Now, anyway, and they say that what he says in the video, which we saw, and that is that. All right, so we can get rid of that. Now, let me see what this one is. It says, okay, this was a commentary. I'm gonna get back to that. I'm gonna bypass that right now. Now I want to get to what I will call the other shoe. And the other shoe is exclusive. Trump ally Eric Prince plans to keep personnel in Haiti for 10 years to fight gangs, quote unquote, and to collect taxes. Now, we're going to read the first part of this, and then we're going to remind people who Eric Prince is. Says Blackwater founder and Trump supporter says he can secure Haiti's main roads in about a year. The agreements give Prince firm a role in the economy for a decade. His private force is to intensify the fight against gangs with helicopters, boats, snipers, and drones, which they don't mention here. Says the prominent Donald Trump supporter and private security executive Eric Prince says he has a 10-year deal with Haiti. Now, mind you, there is no elected Haitian government, so who's the deal really with? I'll let y'all guess. It says to fight the country's so-called criminal gangs and take a role in restoring the country's tax collection system. Now, what I find interesting is you're trying to restore tax collection in a country that's known for immense poverty. Does that really make any sense? Or what else is going on? It says in an interview with Reuters, Prince said his company Vectus Global would be involved in designing and implementing a program to tax goods imported across the Haitian border with the Dominican Republic once the security situation is stabilized. He said he expects to wrestle control of major roads and territories from the gangs in about a year. One key measure of success for me will be when we can drive from Port-au-Prince to Cap Haitian in a thin-skinned vehicle and not be stopped by gangs. Prince would not comment about how much the Haitian government would pay Vectus Global, nor how much tax he expects to collect. the new president of the so-called Transitional Council, Laurent Saint-Cyr, who was inaugurated on August 7th as part of a planned rotation of council leaders, did not respond to requests for comment. Haiti's former council president and prime minister also did not respond. Now, just in case we have forgotten who Eric Prince is. Hold up. What'd you say, brother? You got ripped off. You said, so in other words, they want to take money from Haitians and allocate it to DR. What BGO is, hey, brother, maybe you may be on to something. I'm not sure what type of shenanigans are going on. But what I am going to do is I am going to play this video to remind us who Eric Prince is and to show us why it is so dangerous for him to be involved in this situation.
In the world of modern mercenaries, one name stands out: Blackwater. If you haven't heard of them before, do know this. They're the most infamous private security company in modern history. The man behind Blackwater is Eric Prince. And now he's at it again. Only this time, the battlefield is not Iraq or Afghanistan, it's Haiti, a country in the Caribbean that is already on the brink. Gangs rule the roads here, the government barely functions, and foreign intervention has a long, messy history. Now, Eric Prince is set to add to the chaos. He's sending 200 fighters to Haiti. The question is why? Why Haiti? And why is Blackwater's ghost showing up in the Caribbean? Tonight, we'll break it down. Haiti is located in the Caribbean, like I said. It's a country on the edge. In 2021, their president was assassinated. Right now, it is under a transitional presidential council. Elections are planned for later this year, but Haiti is sliding into more chaos. Gangs control large parts of the capital. They monitor key roads. There's a UN-backed police mission led by Kenya, but it has not made much progress. A state of emergency is in effect. Haitians are desperate for security, so much so that they ended up inviting a private army with a checkered past. Which brings us to Eric Prince. He's a former US Navy SEAL. In 1997, he founded a company called Blackwater. We'll tell you about it in a bit, but for now, let's focus on Eric Prince's new company. It's called Vectus Global. Now, this company, Vectus Global, has signed a deal with Haiti's government. They will deploy fighters from the US, Europe, and El Salvador to Haiti. To do what? To clear gang-controlled roads and territory and help restore Haiti's border tax collection. It's about bringing back cash flow to a broke government. Sounds simple enough on paper, but in reality, it's a lot more complicated. You see, Eric Prince has a very controversial past. As I just said, he founded Blackwater. The company's headquarters were in North Carolina. The groundwater in the area was quite dark, and that is why they decided to call it Blackwater. Also dark were their dealings. Blackwater took part in some conflicts. Then came the war in Iraq, and that's where it made its mark. In August 2003, Blackwater received its first Iraq contract. It was worth $21 million. Soon, Blackwater was training 40,000 people annually, mostly in Iraq. By 2007, they were doing all of America's dirty work there. They guarded facilities, they protected high-value individuals, they trained the military, and they carried out critical operations. They were also involved in multiple war crimes. There were rapes, murders, incidents of torture, all of which was brushed under the rug. But the Nisour Square massacre sealed their fate. Nisour is a busy square in Baghdad, the capital of Iraq. Blackwater killed 17 people here. The massacre sparked so much outrage that the US could no longer ignore it. Blackwater was officially disbanded and rebranded. In 2009, it became XE Services. In 2011, it became Academy. And then in 2014, it became part of a company called Constellus Holdings. And through all of this, Eric Prince remained active. And now his return signals something bigger. The privatization of warfare is no longer just a West Asian phenomenon. It is expanding across the globe. Weak states under siege are the new markets. Mercenary groups are targeting them. And here's the problem with this trend. Once private armies become the go-to fix for unstable countries, they're hard to roll back. And frankly, Prince's strategy has not changed much since the Iraq days. This is what he does: find a fragile state in crisis, offer fast, decisive solutions, and secure a long-term, high-value contract. For example, Haiti's deal reportedly spans 10 years, which means Prince won't just control the battlefield, he will also control revenue streams. It's a business model dressed as a rescue mission. If Vectus Global manages to make Haiti safe, Haitians might cheer. But if history is any guide, this victory will come at a cost. Blackwater may be gone in name, but its shadow is long. And in Haiti, that shadow is about to land with boots and rifles.
All right. That was very. I actually don't even know the individual's name, but thank him for that clip. I'll put it like this. Eric Prince is one of the most dangerous individuals on earth. He is, as they said, a mercenary who gets paid to eliminate people. That's his job. Now we should, they sugarcoat it and say provide security, blah blah blah. No, he gets paid to eliminate people. Now here's the thing that no one is mentioning: there is no actual government in Haiti at this time. There is no elected government, I should say, right? There are some overseers, but there are no government of the people or for the people. So the people who are hiring Eric Prince have no loyalty to the people of Haiti. This is a government that's been propped up and installed by unseen forces. And they have brought in a man who, if you ask the people of Masood, is nothing more than a terrorist in a suit. But they're telling us that the freedom fighter is the terrorist, and that the terrorist is the I guess the cleanup man, for lack of a better word. And applied knowledge said this destabilization and occupation under the guise of foreign aid and tax collection. Exactly. So you bringing in one of the most corrupt organizations that you can find, right, to come into your country to so-called collect taxes and to ensure security. For whom is the question, while the Haitian people have no say in the matter at all. And you're going to remove one of the people who has basically pledged to defend the rights of Haitian people against all forces. That's what Mr. Cherizier says. I've heard him say in his interviews. And of course, here's something that we've seen here in America. When at what we call the OGs were removed from the gangs here. Now, the gangs here were not revolutionary, make no mistake. But my point is that when those leaders were removed, it didn't stop the crime or the gangs. The crime and the gangs were worse because they were disorganized, disunified, and aimless. What Mr. Cherizier was putting together was a revolutionary force. If he's removed, there's going to be more chaos, more destabilization, more violence. It's almost guaranteed. But what I want to do is, because I want everyone, and I know most of the people here have seen it, but I want to remind people who Erik Prince is. We're going to hear him in his own words so we understand this is the last person that any black people in any black country anywhere want to see coming, because he has absolutely no love or respect for black people anywhere, at any time, at any place. But I'm gonna let you hear from him directly.
Ultimately comes down to a contest of what is governance. Who is governed, which countries are governed well. And if so many of these countries around the world are incapable of governing themselves, then it's time for us to just put the imperial hat back on, to say, we're going to govern those countries if you're incapable of governing yourselves, because enough is enough. We're done being invaded.
Because our own national security risk is at stake.
Exactly.
National security interests are at stake.
You can say that about pretty much all of Africa. They're incapable of governing themselves and benefiting their citizens, because the governments there are all about looting and pillaging and lining their pockets and going shopping in Paris, instead of actually making their country better.
People on the left are going to watch this. They're going to say, wait a minute, Erik Prince is talking about being a colonialist again.
Absolutely. Yes. Enough.
Now, Erik Prince was accused in that short clip of being a colonialist. He did not deny it. He said absolutely. So and y'all can hear me, right? Give me a 1 if y'all can hear me. This mercenary who trains people to eliminate people was accused of being a colonialist, was accused of wanting to colonize Africa or any other country, mostly black countries, that quote unquote cannot govern themselves. And that the nominal Haitian government, such as it is, has decided amongst themselves, without any consultation with the people of Haiti, that they're going to bring in this murderous, barbarous, white nationalist, colonialist, terrorist, mercenary, to impose his will and be given free reign for 10 years to do whatever he likes and to make whatever, steal whatever amount of the tax money. And as has been accused of, his people have been accused of violating women and children and all types of stuff, and shooting up everything and blowing up stuff and all. So he is giving free reign to go buck wild in Haiti, while the nominal revolutionary leader of the island will apparently be neutralized by the United States government. What we have here, brothers and sisters, is a takeover and colonization of the nation of Haiti. And why does it matter? It matters because the Haitian Revolution is the singular event that began the freedom from enslavement for black people around the world. Haiti is a special place for special people, and they're coming under direct genocidal assault by an avowed colonialist white nationalist, who I have heard from white nationalists that he's actually under control of Zionist forces, or in league with Zionist forces, I should say. I mean, so that's why him and Mr. Trump get along. They're the same guy. just one's a trained one. Let's keep it 100. One's a trained killer and one's not. By the way, shout out to YouTube for allowing people to say more cuss words, but for demonetizing my video dealing with child violators. I don't know how y'all, manage to, how that contradiction works for y'all, but cool. It is what it is. Am I salty about it? Yes, I am. Because, and I know I'm digressing, but yeah, I'm digressing. How can we stop violators of children if we can't talk about violators of children on the most popular platform that currently exists? Unless we're not supposed to talk bad about violators of children, right? So what I'm going to do right here, because our numbers are still low and we are almost 1 hour in. First of all, I'll make this announcement. Welcome to the center. I am your host, DC Radical 1. You can follow me on Instagram at DC.Radical1, on Twitter at DC Radical_ONE, on OTW2 at DC Radical 1. You can donate via Cash App if you find value in this program at $ DC Radical 1. And you can email me at DC.Radical_1 at protonmail.com. And also, I would like to, well, no, I'll wait for that. No, well, what I would like to say is we are scheduled to come on tomorrow with another episode of SBL Talk. I'm not sure of the actual subject matter, but look out on Instagram and Telegram for the link and the announcements. Now, with that, I'm going to take a short break and we're going to play the Lost Tapes commercial. The tapes that from various events that our brother Irritated Janie did in 2023 and 2024. They are available from myself. All you have to do is send me an email and then send the Cash App payment, the email. Just let me know which of, if not all, of the Lost Tapes you want. They are $25 for a singular, but you can get the entire set of 5 plus the bonus for $100 even. Brother, you got ripped off, got jokes. So with that, here we go with the Lost Tapes.
Now, we're going to go and talk about AIPAC. What is AIPAC? The American Israel Public Affairs Committee. AIPAC. What does AIPAC do? AIPAC is the gangster with a whole lot of money that says, I'm going to buy you and pay you money, and you're going to make decisions that I want you to make. You're gonna do as I tell you, because I got my hands in your pockets. And they attached to people like Jeffrey Epstein, who take videos of the people that are supposed to be our representatives, and as they take those videos, they hold them hostage and say, vote as I tell you to vote. Do as I tell you to do.
I didn't even, the concept. I saw Naeem Akbar talking that black talk he gave, and I was out there telling everybody, yo, this dude gay. You remember back in the 90s, people hating me. Oh, this dude gay, man, we can't do this. You can't be up there talking black and be gay too. I was like, okay, he out the way. No, we're not doing this. I'm saying this because I did not imagine a time, little old me from Southeast, where if they tell us to take a jab, stick ourselves, I'm gonna be the only one that wanna say something? Maybe the brother out in Whitaker, brother Darren, you know, we got a few brothers, I'm talking about like, I'm thinking whatever they tell us to do, we got black people who studied under these people, we gonna say no. Or we gonna at least wanna investigate. I'm thinking it'll always be that way. I'm thinking if somebody's pushing this stuff, R. Kelly molesting children, we're gonna deal with this dude. I'm thinking everybody's gonna agree with that because you don't mess with children.
That's right.
That's what I thought was, that's just how I thought we were. That is who we are intrinsically, but I'm saying, I didn't imagine a world where I'm saying, don't vote for this dude. It's a trick. Come on, y'all. He's a mulatto who didn't grow up around black people. He a gay dude. He gonna push homosexuality. Y'all can't see this? I'm thinking, I'm telling y'all before he get in office, what are you talking about? And people who are the hardest nosed people in African nationalism, I mean the hard ones, looking at me, nah, you can't do that, dude. Y'all don't see this? I'm actually the only one that's gonna say, yo, you don't see. And then when he gets in and does what I say he does, okay, I saw. You messed up the first time. Okay, I saw. I'm thinking, okay, but now he going back for office. He done already made gay marriage legal. All right, now you get it. The dude, I told you he was a punk, he was a gump in the beginning. I still couldn't conceive. No, dude. If you're looking for somebody else to do it, you ain't studied the lessons of history. When you're passionate and pulled to do something and can't stop, it's a message being given to you. Ain't nobody coming. You gotta believe in yourself because somebody decided that you was supposed to do something. So you can't turn it off and stop looking for people. You just gotta do what you do. We looked in the past, 1972. I was born in 1973. I'm almost 50 years old. I'm 50 in December. A year before I got here, they must have known I was coming. They said, let's get this thing out here now before you get here. They did what's called the Gay Rights Platform of 1972. This is just official document, sharing information. If you read, go look it up online for yourself. They're making it difficult to find. I don't know if people have been noticing this, but things that you used to could easily go and put it on the internet and find them, you can't find this stuff no more. I mean, there's a bunch of stuff you can't find. But I'm gonna bring your attention to just one. It's a bunch of stuff, all of it's aimed at children. Sex education to children, adoption, gay adoption of children. But there's one that's most important for what we're talking about today. And they break it down from the federal level and the state level. On the state level, they say every single state, they want laws repealing all laws governing the age of sexual consent. I'm gonna say that again. They want the repeal of all laws governing the age of sexual consent. Meaning a newborn baby, they want it to be legal to have sexual contact with a newborn baby. What year did I say? 1972. 1972. That's 51 years ago. Fast forward 21 years from then to 1993. In the interest of producing that result, they had right downtown, 30 minutes, not even 30 minutes if there's no traffic, go right up here East Capitol, go all the way up the road, you run right into it. They had the 1993 Gay Rights March on Washington. Let's see what that was about.
Check one.
Did y'all hear what they just said? Do I need to play that again? He said, don't play it again. He said, no, thank you. All right, I want to do this again. They said, we're young, we're queer. We're going to do what? We're going to rule the world. Now remember, 21 years before that, what did they say that they wanted for children?
Repeal all laws governing the age of sexual consent. They want to have sex with children and make it totally legalized. 21 years after they said that, they said, we're young, we're queer, we're gonna rule the world. That was in 93. This is 30 years after that. So they've had 30 years to say we're queer, we're gonna rule the world, which at that point they said, we haven't gotten to the point where we rule the world, because if they did, they wouldn't be saying that. They would say, we're young, we're queer, and we rule the world. They didn't say that. We're young, we're queer, we're going to rule the world and have it our way.
All right. That was our brother Irritating Janie doing what he does as part of the series that I have filmed at various locations at various times over the last couple of years. Before they straight black brother Elijah, who has purchased the lost tapes before. I also had a brother purchase today, so thanks to that brother. And he actually is going to get his hands on some things that almost no one else has seen, so he's ahead of the game. So shout out to that brother. And I'll say this, and I don't know what it means, but not one sister has purchased not one lecture of the lost tapes, not one video, not one presentation. I don't know what that means, but I just want to say that, not even a $25 one. Now, I've had, I think, 4 brothers buy the entire set. So sisters, y'all lagging behind, 4-0. If I add in people who just bought 1 or 2, and it's like 7-0. It is Black August. I'm just saying. So with that, let's get back into the program. And the next thing I want to talk about is something that I just happened to see earlier today, and it's tangentially related to what we've been talking about. And then I'll probably close out at 7:30 unless we get a big influx of people. But this is from Business Insider Africa. It says UN coordinator expelled from Burkina Faso over controversial report. Says Burkina Faso has expelled United Nations regional coordinator Carol Flore Smerezniak, declaring her persona non grata in response to a UN report that accuses the West African nation of committing violations against children in an armed conflict. Now it says Burkina Faso has expelled UN regional coordinator. Okay, yeah, I ain't reading her name again. Says the expulsion follows a UN report accusing Burkina Faso of child rights violations in armed conflict. The UN expressed regret over the decision, concerned about its impact on so-called humanitarian efforts in the country. First of all, we know that the United Nations is a corrupt organization. I mean, virtually everything at this point is corrupt, so it goes without saying, right? But we're going to read this article, and then I'm going to tell you why I believe that this is tangentially related. By the way, I had a chance to go to the embassies of Mali and Niger recently, and they were very gracious hosts. And I'd just like to shout out those two nations, Mali and Niger, along with, of course, Burkina Faso, the triumvirate of the AES, and thank them for the work that they're doing to liberate Africa from the yoke of colonialism and neo-colonialism. Now, let me get back to this article. It says the government has denounced the findings, said it is neither consulted nor consulted during the preparation of the report, nor informed of its conclusion prior to its publication. The decision, announced Monday by a government spokesperson, underscores rising tensions between Burkina Faso's military-led authorities and international organizations over allegations of human rights abuses. Now, for those of you all who have been listening to the show, I told you what the word human rights really means. Undercover is an undercover word for homophilia. And of course, we know that homophilia has been banned under the government of Mr. Traore. So whenever you ban homophilia, you can expect to be attacked under the terms human rights abuses. They just have to use a different, they don't always use open homophilia. They use other incidents to accuse you of the human rights abuses. But what they really mean is 9 times out of 10, you're either standing against homophilia or you will not allow neo-colonialism in your country. That's what it really means. Now, it says authorities in Ouagadougou rejected the document as one-sided and politically motivated, stressing that they were excluded from both the drafting process and review of its conclusions. The government insisted that its forces remain committed to protecting civilians, including children, even as the country grapples with escalating violence from jihadist insurgencies that have displaced millions and disrupted social services. So let's think about this. They're fighting a war against jihadists who, the reason that the jihadists are there and have the power that they have and the money and the wealth is because the United States destabilized Libya some years ago, and that gave the jihadists a foothold. And now Burkina Faso is fighting against these jihadists, and they have been accused of the abuses. You can't make this stuff up. It says by expelling Flora Cherizier, her. Burkina Faso has signaled its deep displeasure with the U.S. handling of the report and its broader concern that international institutions may be undermining their national sovereignty. Now, this is Flora Cherizier. She is from Mauritius, right? Which is on the other side of Africa. It's an island on the other side of Africa. And I looked up the name Cherizier, and it's Eastern European, which means one of two things. Either Miss Cherizier is mixed race, or more likely, because the name is hyphenated, she's married to a European, an Eastern European, possibly from the former Khazarian region, if you understand what I'm saying. Now, the UN is refuting the allegations, and they claim that their organization is accorded privileges and immunities, including the right for all its staff members to remain in Burkina Faso in order to perform their functions on behalf of the organization. The expelled UN official Flores Berezniak was forced to leave the country despite having more than 20 years experience in development, security, humanitarian conflict, and post-conflict settings. She was appointed to her post in Burkina Faso just last year, according to the United Nations. Says rights advocates warned that the decision could further strain humanitarian operations in the country where nearly half the population relies on aid and where children face heightened risk from conflict. Now, we understand that while there may be challenges in Burkina Faso, they've made great strides in industrialization and development just in the approximately 2 years that Mr. Traore has been in power. So the way that they set this out makes it look as if this is some backwater country when they're making moves to improve themselves. So why am I bringing this up? I'm bringing this up because we remember that the United States military officer, and y'all help me out with his name because I forgot his name, who was in charge of AFRICOM, he made spurious, is that the word I'm looking for? He made unfounded, derogatory accusations against Mr. Traore directly in front of a congressional hearing some months ago, right? And the people came out and said, hands off Traore. General Langley, thank you, brother. General Langley. Now, that happened. The people came out and protested, and it quieted down. Now, here we have a UN official claiming human rights abuses. We know that whenever they are setting up to either invade or to remove a person from power, the first thing they start talking about is human rights abuses. So that is why I wanted to talk about this situation. Soon as I saw it, my antennas went up, right? Because we've seen this play before. And for this, we see now that what they're doing is they're setting an atmosphere and setting a reasoning of why they're going to attack primarily our brother Traore, because he is the most charismatic of the leaders and the one that has gotten the most attention. But they want to destabilize this AES alliance because more and more of the people of Africa want their nations to join. It's not necessarily the leaders that want to join, but the people want either people to join or they want a similar style of government with young, dynamic leadership that is beholden unto the people. Because Mr. Traore didn't just come take power for no reason. The surrounding officers, and they wanted him to take power, and the people have backed him, and the people have backed the moves that he's made, and they have backed the development that is made and the changes that they see on the ground. The people see change on the ground. People actually sleep along the road towards the capital and protect this brother. So he is popular with the people, and now they have to find some justification to attempt to neutralize him. So that's why I'm bringing this to the forefront now, so that we can be aware of the tricks and traps and lies of our enemy, because we're now seeing a coordinated attack against Mr. Traore. We see the indictment against Mr. Cherizier, who has, of course, expressed his admiration for Mr. Traore. And there's probably other things going on, or they're setting up against Mr. Goita and against Mr. Chiani, right? and people who are stopping the exploitation and the neo-colonialism on Africa. And let's see, brother, you got ripped off, said they're letting you know they have agents in these countries because of the reports, fictitious or not, they give the American citizens. Well, anytime you have NGOs, and to be honest, the whole United Nations, those officials, they're not for the sovereignty of individual nations. They're for, in essence, they're for setting up a one world government, right? It's the prototype for a one world government. So I was trying to see if people would come on late, and that would determine how long I would stay on. But we're not getting an increase in audience. So I'm just going to I'm just going to I lost my train of thought. Yeah, forgive me. I just had something pop up on my screen. I have one more article that I'm going to discuss. Then I'm going to close out early, and I'm going to deal with the Congo in a later, either in a radical report or in a later live stream. But to go back to Mali, it says Al-Qaeda linked militants unalive 21 soldiers in Mali. So we were just talking about what? We were talking about the jihadists here, talking about the terrorists. And we see the result of the destabilization of Libya happening. What happens here in Mali? It says Al-Qaeda linked militants, and we have to take their word for it. That's who they are. Deleted 21 soldiers during coordinated attacks in Mali on Tuesday, according to the SITE intelligence group. I'm not familiar with that. A US-based non-governmental organization that tracks online reports of Islamist militants. Jamaat Nusrat al-Islam wal Muslimin said it captured 2 soldiers, seized 15 military vehicles, and more than 50 weapons during the wide-scale operation. Mali's army declined to provide a total on Wednesday, but said its outposts in Farabougou and Barbeque came under simultaneous attack early on Tuesday, according to a military statement. JNIM said they had taken control of military barracks and militia positions in Farabougou, on Tuesday, and detonated an IED against an army vehicle in the south-central Ségou region. The army did not respond to requests for comment. It says that Ségou, a strategic hub in south-central Mali, has seen repeated clashes between jihadist groups, government forces, and allied militia amid a year-long insurgency that has spread across the Sahel region. JNIM is shifting from its rural guerrilla attacks to a campaign aimed at controlling territory around urban centers and asserting political dominance in the Sahel. Mali's military leaders took power after coups in 2020 and 2021, vowing to restore security in a country where militant groups control large areas of the north and center and stage frequent attacks on the army and civilians. Now, I'm just going to say this. We do not know necessarily who is behind the militants. Peace of Black Revolutionary now. Glad to see you in here. But what we do know is these militants got their power, wealth, and money increased because of the United States government. Because of the United States government assault on Libya, right? Which spread these quote unquote militant Islamic groups all around that region of Africa, and destabilized all of the countries in the region, and has caused countless numbers of deaths because of that destabilization. So while they claimed that they were doing it because of what did they say about Mr. Gaddafi? Human rights abuses. We've seen, and I have shown, that Black people have actually been enslaved in Libya since that took place. And we see that it's destabilized African governments, and that governmental resources for Mali and Niger and Burkina Faso have to be used in order to quell the violence that was unleashed by the United States government. But the United States government wants to accuse these countries of human rights violations. But there's no mention of the ongoing enslavement of Black people in Libya at this time. I haven't heard anybody say anything about it. I haven't heard Mr. Trump say anything about it. I haven't heard what's her name, Shapiro, say anything about it, or anyone else. So while they can claim that Mr. Cherizier is doing all types of stuff, right? He's been accused of everything. We have actual enslavement of Black people taking place, and nobody has anything to say about it. And has been going on for years. And in fact, I remember in I believe it was Mauritania. It was definitely one of the northwest African countries where they first told me that they were still being enslaved. This was like 2010 to 2011 on Twitter. He's like, "Hey, brother, y'all got to do something, so forth and so on." And I was like, wait, what do you mean? What are you talking about? What's going on? And he gave me the rundown. That was in 2010. But I don't hear any UN reports about that, or any UN peacekeeping, or any UN condemnation, or anything. Right? So we see that it's disingenuous that the United Nations cares about any children in any African nation or any Black people anywhere at any time ever. It's a fraud, right? It's just an excuse for destabilization and colonization, like the brother said before. And so we have to be on the lookout for these things, as we may be in places where, like I am in Washington, D.C., where you're under military occupation. By the way, that military occupation is coming to a city near you. Just want to remind you of that. Right? So, because we have, I'll be honest, because we have low ratings, I'm going to close this show out earlier than normal. Again, I am your host, DC Radical 1. You can follow me on Instagram at DC.Radical1, on Twitter at DC_Radical_ONE, on OTW2 at DC Radical 1. And if you find value in the program, you can donate via Cash App, $ DC Radical 1. And also, the lost tapes from Brother Irritated Genie are available. And I will be shortly releasing my ancestral series featuring dedications to Dr. Francis Cress Wilson, Dr. Chancellor Williams, and Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad. So be on the lookout for that. Probably next week. Also, let me not forget, 3 days from now, because today is Wednesday and not Thursday, and I've been thinking it's Thursday all day, we will have our luncheon for our Straight Black Pride anniversary. It will be at Swahili Village, Beltsville, 10,800 Rhode Island Avenue, Beltsville, Maryland, at 12 noon on Saturday. Sunday, we will have a museum tour, but we will first meet for breakfast at E-Life in Capitol Heights. I believe that's 9185 Central Avenue, Capitol Heights, Maryland. And then we will load up from there and go to the Smithsonian Museum to tour the museum. So if you're interested in that, if you're in the region, if you're in the region, because it's kind of last minute now, you can either email myself at dc.radical_1@protonmail.com, or you can email Brother Irritated Jenny at liberation@waronthehorizon.com. Excuse me. And of course, tomorrow we plan to be right back on with SBL Talk. So be on the lookout for the notification and the thumbnail, and also be on the lookout if you follow me on the other social media. So we'll have a posting of that. So with that, brothers and sisters, I thank you all for listening. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And hopefully the people will come in and check this out later on. I don't know. It's Wednesday. Maybe people are getting ready for the convention, and that's why they didn't listen. But either way, for those who listened, those who commented, those who have supported, I greatly appreciate it. And with that, oh, wait a minute, hold up. Give me a second. But I do greatly appreciate it. I do greatly appreciate your support. And let me say this. We have to really begin to organize ourselves and prepare for some rough times that are going to be coming. And times are already rough, but they're going to get a lot worse. And I am debating, and y'all tell me, I'm going to ask this question. I'm debating doing a lecture, probably my last, on the controlled demolition of America. Y'all tell me right now whether y'all think that is worth doing, because that's what we're in the midst of, and I don't think our people know it. I don't know how to get that information out, and I don't know if people would find value in it, would pay attention to it, or would even care. But y'all let me know. I'll give you all about a minute or so, and then I'll close it out. There's so much stuff going on. There's so much information going on. And it doesn't seem like, I don't know if people are just trying to act as if everything is normal, but everything is not normal. This is not normal. The price of food is not normal. The price of housing is not normal. Being $40 trillion in debt is not normal. Having your the current president accused of violating children is not normal. Having government officials say that they got information on their desk and then turn around and say, what report? I don't know what you're talking about. It's not normal. Having your government send all their money to another sovereign country while people in this country are homeless and starving is not normal. Militarily occupying the nation's capital is not normal. None of this is normal, right? None of it is normal. Having 92.3% or whatever the number is of your government pledging allegiance to a foreign government is not normal. It's not normal for members of Congress that you elect to be subject to the whim and the will of a foreign government. That's not normal. Having your currency devalued is not normal. Having an untested medical procedure being injected on nearly everybody in the country is not normal. None of this is normal. And we got to stop acting like it's normal. Because I hate to say it, but as long as we're here in America, in this case, this is beyond black and white because we're all on the same sinking ship. The only difference is we're chained to the bottom. That's black people. So we either have to unchain ourselves and leave, or we got to put a cork in or seal up the leak. But the ship is certainly sinking. And nobody seems to want to talk about it. So with that, brothers and sisters, again, I thank you all for listening. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I'm your host, DC Radical One. And with that, I say, BB48 and straight black pride. Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Also follow us on our other social media platforms. On Instagram, we're at dc.radical1. On Twitter, we're at dc_radical_ONE. And the Cash App is $DC Radical1. Again, thank you for subscribing. A BB for ODA and straight black pride.